Hi, it's Kyle Koeberlein with Bluegrass International in Georgetown, Kentucky. I'm a member of the sales team, and as part of our YouTube channel, we wanted to do a little video just talking briefly about auto gen start, so automatic generator start, and what that is. Also frequently referenced to is AGS. I'm not a big fan of using acronyms because then people have no idea what you're talking about. This is a 2024 Verona LE that I'm standing in, and so we'll look at the Firefly system, show how it's operated in the system here, and then also explain kind of what it is. So here we'll get into on this display over here. So we're looking at the control panel for the Firefly system. This is the home screen. On the Firefly system, they program it so that things show up multiple places just for easy access. So for example, right here in the corner it says AGS disabled, and so that's a spot where you can enable your auto gen start, which you push the button and then it will give you a warning that enabling AGS in an enclosed, because it's going to cause exhaust, right? So you don't want to do it in an enclosed space. And then to confirm that, you have to hold the enable button for 3 seconds for it to actually come on. If auto gen start is enabled and you put the key in the ignition, it will automatically disable auto gen start because it doesn't want you to forget you have auto gen start enabled and you drive home and park like in an enclosed garage. So we'll hit cancel there, and then we'll go to, so we were at the home screen, and then we can go to the little lightning bolt over here, which is the power screen. This is what shows you, like right now this coach is just sitting on the lot working off battery power, generator's not working. You can see line 1, line 2, obviously we have no voltage coming in. Start and stop manual for the generator, and then once again another, on the home screen you had this button, but on the electrical screen we now have another spot to enable AGS. But on the electrical option page, let's call it page. So on the electrical page of the system, you have an AGS settings, and this is where I'll kind of explain what auto gen start is. So basically with auto gen start, you're basically telling the generator, I want you to start up based on 2 variables, or in this case they're called triggers. One being state of charge, so that what the level of charge is of your batteries, or your HVAC load, so a demand from the air conditioners to keep the unit cool. And so with the 2 triggers, so AGS is disabled right now, so it means auto gen start can't start. And then if I enabled auto gen start, then whether if it's the batteries, because it's highlighted in red, see if I click on it, it grays out. So with it highlighted in red, state of charge would cause the generator to fire up, or an HVAC load demand to cool the coach would pop on. So if you're like trying to keep your out at a winery or something and you're trying to keep your furry friends happy, it'll kick on and keep the coach cool. And then of course you do have on auto gen start, you can set quiet hours. And so if you don't want the generator to come on in certain hours of the night, or if you're camped somewhere where the generator is not allowed to be ran from from 8 to 8, 8 at night to 8 in the morning, or just depending on where you're at and what the rules are, but you can set those quiet hours. The key to the quiet hours though is you got to make sure that on your settings page that your time is actually correct. If this isn't correct in here, obviously your quiet hours will not line up correctly. We'll go back to the electrical screen. So we'll go back into AGS. And then over here, we've got the minimum run time. So typically anytime your generator is fired up, you don't want it to run and just shut right back off. You want it to let it exercise for a little bit before you shut it down. You can adjust that some. Maximum run time is set to 480 minutes. That is, you can lower it if you want to, but obviously your air conditioner should be able to cool the unit in that period of time and recharge your batteries. And then you have restart tries for the generator. The Firefly system does not have a way to know if there's an issue with the generator, or even more common would be, let's say you just don't have enough diesel fuel in the tank. So if your diesel fuel is below 1/4 tank, the generator doesn't know how much, doesn't know how much fuel is in your diesel tank, right? That information is not fed here as far as the level of diesel. And so it'll try to restart 4 times, and if it can't start, it'll quit trying. That way it's just not sitting here cranking and cranking and cranking all day long when you don't have enough fuel. Obviously, this unit just came in. This came in yesterday, so we only have 0.1 generator hours. That will change because we do exercise the generators monthly. Of course, this unit probably won't even last but a week or two. This is a Verona LE, and they tend to. There's not near as many built, so they do move fairly quick. And then over here for state of charge, it just says that, utilize your supplied Victron shunt. So whenever you have lithium batteries, you got to have a Victron shunt that tells the system what the state of charge is of your lithium, so that it knows when to fire up for low battery. So utilize your supplied Victron shunt or Victron Servo GX, Servo GX. I have one of these in my coach. That's basically a control panel that I can show you back here that shows you kind of the watts that are coming and going from your 12-volt system. It's just kind of a nerdy display. In order to change the state of charge relay trigger setting, Renegade factory default value is 15%. So basically at 15% default value is 15%, 90 to 99%, and low voltage relay is 11.8 to 13.5. So basically at 15% battery, it's going to fire up and charge and then cut off at 99. The reason it doesn't always go all the way to 100 is you'll actually extend the life of your battery system by not trying to push them to 100% all the time, which 90% is, you're fine. Don't worry about it. If you want more details about this kind of stuff, just call and ask me. These settings can be changed with your Victron Connect app. So there's both of the Victron Shunt and the Victron Servo GX have Bluetooth capabilities, and there's a Victron app that you can download on your phone to see those things remotely. Victron Servo GX touchscreen, depending on which item your coach is equipped with. So, and I can show you that once again in the back. So that kind of sums up the auto gen start for you. You're basically just, instead of, if you didn't have auto gen start and you were leaving your pet in your RV, for example, you'd have to basically leave your generator running all day, because you don't want the air conditioners to be able to come on to keep the coach cool whenever necessary. But with auto gen start, you now no longer have to let your generator run all day. It'll kick on when necessary to turn on your HVAC to cool the coach, or let's say that your batteries do drain down because your refrigerator and other things have been on, and so the generator can kick on and charge the battery so that your 12-volt system doesn't drop too low. So this is that screen for that Servo GX. I have one of these in my motorhome, and this is super cool. So this is the shore power coming in. So if you had the generator running or hooked up to shore, it would show you how much wattage is coming into the inverter for pass-through. This is the current state of charge of the battery system, which is 97%. It shows you that you currently have 21 watts going out. And I'm sorry, you got 21 watts coming in. And so minus means you've got watts going into the battery. So currently on DC, we're using 357, 347, 349 watts. But our solar's got 447 watt, 46 changing, roughly 447 watts coming in. So that's enough to cover what our DC usage is currently right now. And then the difference between this number and this number adds up to that number. So the additional is going back into the batteries to actually charge them. And then up here it shows you your AC load. So we currently have 170-ish watts of AC load. So the Servo GX is a super cool tool. Well, it's a cool display to have in your coach. Is it necessary? No. But it's nice to see the information so that you kind of have an idea of what your usage is. So that when you're running your fridge, like if your fridge is running, you're watching TV, you can see, okay, that's my watt usage. This is how many watts I've got to work with. And then you start to quickly learn, like, kind of what your usage is and how long those batteries are going to last. And a lot of this, that only matters too if you're going to do a lot of dry camping or boondocking or dispersed camping, where you're not wanting to run your generator, or you're not wanting to use shore power. So if you're hooked up to shore or have a generator running 90% of the time that you're hooked up, like, this kind of becomes irrelevant because you have an unlimited source of power. This is important when you're trying to survive off of batteries. Once again, my name is Kyle Koeberlein. I'm part of the sales team here at Bluegrass International in Georgetown, Kentucky. Of course, we have 3 locations: Georgetown, Somerset, and London, Kentucky. London and our Georgetown location are right on I-75, so super convenient for our customers. But thanks again for checking out one of our videos, and if we can ever help, please feel free to reach out.